Though ever industrious, Lucifer is looking slightly more haggard than normal. That is not something you should be saying to Lucifer, my boy. Is something the matter? Nothing I can't handle. Just a little upset in hell's dimensional border. Happens all the time. So, Casanova, how'd it go? In the synergy proceeding, or according to schedule? Well, I took Judgment out to a butterfly conservatory. Well, it's a start. I don't suppose you have one more date left in you? I could use a break. Okay, Lucifer is just very straightforward. But we like it. Sounds good. Where would you like to go? I haven't been able to stretch my legs all day. A walk around the neighborhood would be wonderful. Well, that's so very simple. What the heck? Together, the two of you exit the house into the warm night. Fireflies, newly molted and slowly rise from the grass as you walk by. Their mellow lights illuminate the mostly dark street in consistent bursts. Beautiful little creatures, aren't they? Quite. Although, you ought to know better than to judge a book by its cover. Even as larvae, they're highly predatory and feast fairly indiscriminately upon other insects. You know quite a lot about insects for someone who spends most of the day running hell. Lucifer shrugs and sniffs haughtily. A girl can take a passing interest in creatures far beneath her, after all. I took an interest in you, didn't I? That one stung a little bit. I assume your day's been busy then? It always is. Running hell is a lot harder than raising it. There's a difference? Wait. Paperwork needs to be filed, damnations allocated, and the skeletons go on strike if they don't get their milk rations. Rations. The skeletons need strong bones. Get them these strong bones. So where do you do it? They help carry paperwork. Plus, if someone comes into hell unannounced, they are trained to arrange themselves into devious little puzzles that... Not that. Your whole Queen of Hell job seems like kind of a thankless task for the amount of time you spend doing it. Well, that's real pretty. The ivory-horned demon breaks stride, pondering a question and stares up at the stars. The Lord of Hell is a position that no demon wants, yet, conversely, all covet. To take the weight of the title upon one's shoulders is no small task, and matched in unpleasantness only by the problem that arises when one is forced to relinquish it. Forced? How so? The throne is never given, only taken. Since time immemorial, the entity seated on the throne has balanced atop the endless writhing hordes of demonkind, each determined to usurp power for themselves. Those at the top have no farther to climb, and thus must look down, constantly in fear of being thrown from their lofty position. Ever heard of a democratic elections? Lucifer chuckles softly, the dark notes of joy spilling out of her mouth and into the summer air. Believe it or not, things are better now than when they were before I took power. Implemented bureaucracy, a proper 5-day work week, and break rooms for the demons and tortured souls to use in between damnations. And the beefcake skeleton and the beefcake skeleton guards? Merely an aesthetic choice. Understandable. The two of you continue on your stroll in amicable silence, but it isn't long before another stray thought breaks through the quiet. Ooh, that's pretty. Has someone else been taking Cerberus out on walks? Not to my knowledge, and I pride myself on knowing just about everything going on in our house. I took her to the park earlier and she went absolutely ballistic on someone who was trying to rob me. Cerberus does have a nose for sin, and that girl can sniff out a tainted soul half a mile away. That's certainly true. I've seen her go after the weirdos that hang around Euro's underwear before you. Euro's what now? Actually, forget I asked. I'll just assume that Modius was involved somehow. I was just saying, I've seen her go after shady types before, but something about this time was different. She seemed to recognize whom it was she attacked. Lucifer freezes in place, her red eyes suddenly glowing a luminous crimson in the dimly lit street. Very slowly, she turns her head away from you and, with an obvious effort, lowers her shoulders into a more relaxed pose. I'm sure it's nothing to worry about. You, on the other hand, can't say the same. Well, the house is coming up. Can I tempt you with a second go around the block? I think I'll pass, though this walk was quite enjoyable, especially after a hectic day. In addition, thank you for the conversation. It was certainly informative, especially... Oh boy. Lucifer is cut short by the unmistakable sound of shattering glass, followed by raised yet indistinct voices emanating from the house. And just when things seemed like they were winding down too. With a crash, a chair from the dining room is pitched through one of the windows on the front of the house. Through the newly formed opening, the din voices can be heard more clearly. Insolent whelp, have you no respect for the rules of the house? Not when you're the only one enforcing them. Nee! Yeah, sicker, girls, sicker! Lucifer's shoulders sag slightly, her eyes downcast. You don't have to be the one to sort this out. It is my house, after all. Yes, but they are my responsibility. I had to be the one to bring them to heel. True, but I'd like to put a stop to this before they damage the... Oh, God! Table. Well, since it seems you now have a grudge to settle, I suppose I could allow you to assist me with my affairs, but only this once, do you understand? I do. The two of you march back into the house, ready to clean shop. Well, this night certainly took a turn towards the unforeseen, but perhaps Lucifer starting to let you see a bit more into her personal life? You'll have to see what comes of this in the coming days. Oh my goodness, that was the shortest date of them all. Oh, never mind. I've been juked. The next morning. What the heck? You are awakened from your slumber by an incessant scratching at the door. Grabbing some clothes from the nearby chair, you head towards the door. Why was that doing weird things? Upon opening your door, you are almost bowled over as all three bodies of Cerberus burst through the frame with like a fluffy white whirlwind. They run around your room, pulling books from the shelves, clothes from your hamper, and making faces at your wardrobe. Beyond the doorway stands Pandamonica, the coffee reserves in her mug approaching the danger zone. Oh good, you're awake. Hope you haven't forgotten about my morning brew. Your mind races as you try to recall. Right, a triple macchiato with whipped cream sprinkled with tears of virgins. Pandamonica shrugs, uncharacteristically apathetic. Or chocolate sauce. Today is a splurge day, I think. You look around at what was once, before Cerberus at least, a well-cleaned room. I don't suppose you've seen Lucifer around, have you? The demon shakes her head. She's a little overloaded with work right now, so I wouldn't expect her to be around much over these next few days. With all the subtlety of an avalanche, Cerberus butts into the conversation. She left a message for you, though. She said to keep up the good work. Then she made a scary face. She pulled back her lips and showed us all her teeth. So she smiled? They aren't exaggerating, this time at least. It did look a little more genuine than usual. Between the two of you, you managed to corral Cerberus out of your room. She disappears down the hall, talking to herself in hushed tones. You hurry downstairs, Lucifer's message weighing slightly on your mind. Keep up the good work? I wonder what she means. Select your character. Select your character? What? Huh? What do you mean, select your character? Weird. Okay. Well, interesting. I thought the day was over and then it wasn't, but I've been juked by this game now. Let me know what you thought of Lucifer's date. We are seeing a little bit more into Lucifer's personal life. We've seen a lot into everyone's personal lives, which is really cool. Really, I feel like it brings the characters to life. I super hope that the game keeps on doing that. Like, just keeps on showing more of what each character is like. And yeah, let me know down in the comments below what character I should do the rest of their dates for. I'm planning on just picking that character and doing the rest of their dates if the game will allow me. And that'll how we go forward is we'll just do all of their dates, 2 through however many there are, and then we'll just bounce around the characters again. But yeah, let me know down in the comments below who you would like to see, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace!